What's up, everybody? Brett Mix here, Macho Wrestling 101. We're back with another Nitro on TNT Week 8. This is the night after Halloween Havoc 1995, October the 30th, 1995. It's the 9th ever Nitro, but the 8th week they go at it in the Monday Night Wars. I won't make you wait for the ratings. Last week, Nitro won. They won handedly, but this week, last week they won 2.6 to 2.2. So they won by 0.4. This week, Nitro drew a 2.3, and Raw drew a 2.1. So Nitro wins for the second straight week, and this time by 0.2. Last week it was by 0.4, this week by 0.2. But the important thing is that Nitro has won again. So now Nitro is tied with the WWF in the scoreboard. 3 wins, 3 losses, 2 draws for the 8 weeks that they've been going head-to-head. This one is from the HaL Arena in Dayton, Ohio, with Steve McMichael, Eric Bischoff, and Bobby Heenan doing commentary. Tony Schiavone makes his Nitro debut, not on commentary, but in the ring doing some promos work. Bischoff says, for the first time, you'll see a clip of the pay-per-view on one night. Heenan says, you can't believe what we're going to show you. So they show Luger's and Jimmy Hart's heel turn at Halloween Havoc. The first match is Eddie Guerrero versus Sergeant Craig Pittman, but since Savage is out, it's going to be Eddie Guerrero versus Craig Pittman, the Sergeant, who they call the Pitbull. It was supposed to be Savage versus Craig Pittman, the Sergeant, but now it's Eddie Guerrero, so that's a decent switch. Locked up with Eddie Guerrero, a sweep attempt. Eddie tried a sweep attempt, but Craig Pittman wanted to test the power. He forced Guerrero to work an amateur style, and Guerrero can work any style, so that's okay with him. Eddie with a high waist lock, back into a waist lock into a backside suplex. Eddie battered into the corner head first by the Sergeant, the Pitbull. He comes with a missile drop kick and a close near fall. Bischoff begins to promote World War III, the next pay-per-view already, on commentary. Off the ropes, probably because he sees a sergeant in the ring, so it reminds him of war. Craig Pittman drops Eddie with a clothesline. Eddie throws Sergeant Craig Pittman into the corner, hooking to the left with an armbar. Craig Pittman with a break of the eyes. Guerrero being out-wrestled here by Sergeant Craig Pittman, who was looking to slap on the code red. Guerrero gets out of his predicament using his weight for leverage. A flying crossbody out of nowhere by Eddie, and then a belly-to-back belly suplex by Pitbull. Sergeant Craig Pittman countered Eddie's high-flying offense and drops him to his back. Eddie turns it around into an inside cradle out of nowhere off the ropes, and he got him at 5:24. Eddie Guerrero with the inside cradle. I give it 2 stars. Next up, we had Scott Norton versus the Shark. Last week, these two went at it backstage, and then they went at it at Halloween Havoc some more, so there's bad blood. Shark is John Tenta, the old earthquake. The two lock up, and Shark clobbers him with a beautiful belly-to-belly. Elbow drop to Scott Norton, and the Shark kicks out. Shark Irish whipped into the corner, but Scott Norton hits 2 clotheslines, and the two guys fight on the outside and get counted out at 2:47. I rated it a half a star. Flair, Arn, and Pillman are back as the Horsemen, so Ric Flair also is now on he was feuding with Arn and Pillman, but now he's on their side, so that happened at Halloween Havoc as well. So you got Luger and Jimmy Hart teaming with the Dungeon of Doom with Sullivan and the Giant, and then you got Flair, who was feuding with Arn and Pillman. Now they're all together, they're the Horsemen again. That's basically and Flair does the line, if you don't like it, learn to love it. It's the best thing going today. Or whatever how he sounds. I can't do it probably pretty good, but if I did, that's great. I can only do a few words from a few wrestlers. I can't do sentences. Anyways, Sabu takes on the Disco Inferno at the 3rd match of the night. Disco finally gets a wrestling match and doesn't just dance by the stage. This is his 2nd match, though, on Nitro, I believe. He wrestled a few weeks ago. Heenan is sitting with Japanese businessman. I believe this is the guy that played Yamaguchi-san in WWF as part of Kaientai. Forget his name in WCW, but I'll get it eventually because I'm sure he's a big part of the whole Japanese versus Japan versus WCW that they do at Starrcade. So they're doing that build early. They don't tell you why right here. They just show Heenan eating sushi with him or pretending to eat sushi. He goes to pick it up, he smells it, he puts it down, and then he goes. Bobby Heenan's great. Sabu, anyway, took it to the Disco Inferno with a facebuster, another high toss, a clothesline. Sabu dances, Sabu gets hit by Disco, and he starts to do his disco dancing. A front face lock and a lariat, clotheslining Sabu from the ropes to the mat as he just rings the rope back, and Sabu's throat was hanging over it, so Sabu just wrenched back to the canvas floor. Sabu gets a European uppercut by the Disco Inferno, who hits a somersault over by Sabu. Sabu then hits a moonsault and a senton, and then puts the Disco away at 2:36. After the match, Sabu with a flying crossbody over the top rope to the floor. Sabu brings a table and hits Disco Inferno with it. He puts Disco Inferno on the table after the match. The match was a star and a half, by the way. After the match, he goes for a somersault plancha onto the table with that Disco Inferno on it. Disco Inferno rolls off the table, so Sabu flips onto the table, the wooden table at ringside he set up. Disco Inferno rolls off of it. Sabu comes over the ropes, off through the air with a somersault, and then lands right on the table, but the table doesn't break, so ouch. So Sabu just kind of, homicidal, suicidal. There you go. Next up, Lex Luger and Meng. With Jimmy Hart and the Taskmaster, so he's a part with the Dungeon of Doom, so he's with Meng as well. So Luger and Meng are a team against the All-American males, Marcus Alexander Bagwell and Scotty Riggs, the babyfaces here. Bagwell clotheslines Luger, and Meng is a legit tough guy in the business. Luger turned heel at HaL.HAVOC, as I mentioned. Meng, a legit tough guy, teams with Luger. They both have great bodies. Luger, obviously, with his physique. Enough me complimenting guys' bodies. It's not what my reviews are about. But come on, Luger. It's too bad. It's a waste that Lex Luger has the body, because it's Lex Luger. If somebody else with more talent had the body, it would be a lot better. Meng with a hard chop and a senton, but he missed. Marcus Alexander Bagwell gets the hot tag finally after a lot of tandem offense between Luger and Meng. Scotty Riggs was just being beaten to shreds, and Bagwell finally gets the tag in, the hot tag, and he drops Luger with clotheslines, fast clotheslines too. He runs off the ropes and sprints with fast clotheslines. Then a power slam. Riggs helped him out, but Jimmy Hart distracted the official. Meng kicks Riggs in the back of the head, and Luger applied the torture rack to Riggs, and they win at 7 minutes. So I rate that match 2 stars and a quarter. Luger and Jimmy Hart, again, cut a promo with the Giant and the Taskmaster talking about how Hulk Hogan's not on the show and how they destroyed Hulkamania and so on. And Savage and Sting and all of them are all injured, in the Dungeon of Doom rules the wrestling world because the Giant is the new world champion. Forgot to mention that. The Giant win the world title at Halloween-Havoc. I don't review Halloween-Havoc, so that's why I didn't mention it. But yeah, the Giant has the world title now off Hulk Hogan after Halloween-Havoc. And this is the next night, October 30th. It's one night before Halloween. They tell trick-or-treaters to be safe. Last week, I gave Nitro a 7.5 out of 10 for the second straight week as they beat WWF with a 2.6 to 2.2. That's a 0.4 win for Nitro. Well, this week, in week 8 of the Monday Night Wars, Nitro gets a 2.3. Raw got a 2.1. So it's a win by 0.2. And for the first time ever, Nitro has won in consecutive weeks, 2 weeks in a row. So again, last week was 2.6 to 2.2. This week it's 2.3 to 2.1 for Nitro. And again, this first time ever they won 2 weeks in a row, but it wouldn't last as WWF would get a hold of them next week. Thanks to everyone who is enjoying these reviews. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to my channel. Even if you're not reliving the wars, you can still watch these reviews when you decide to go back and relive them. So keep that in mind, and also keep in mind that they're archived, so you can find them very easy. I got a Nitro archive and I got old Raw archive. The reason I have it old Raw is because I still up to date current Raws, and I'm not putting that in the current Raw section. I have old Raws, so that's where you can find the WWF Raws for the Monday Night Wars. The rating is 3, 3, and 2. 3 wins for Nitro, 3 wins for the WWF, and 2 draws overall. I'm Brett Mix. Thanks for watching this Nitro review, and we'll see you on the next one.